I'm Randy Reed, editor of the Edison Report, and we are here in Philadelphia at LIGHTFAIR 2019, and I am joined by Dan Darby, the Director of LIGHTFAIR. Dan, welcome.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And welcome to our industry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Buckle up. We're in the midst of a big transformation.
I've heard this.
We're glad you're here. Now, tell our audience a little bit about your background.
Like many people my age, I kind of fell into trade shows. Back then there wasn't a degree in trade shows, and so like a lot of people, I actually come from a public relations background. I was invited to go exhibit at a show, then went to a small producer, and eventually ended up at America's Mart Atlanta. So I was at America's Mart Atlanta in the gift industry, but I worked alongside Libby Morley and Renee Gable when LIGHTFAIR was in its infancy and they were growing the show.
So Libby received a Lifetime Achievement Award from us years ago. We were really pleased to honor her, and I was back on the board of directors when Libby was a part of it, and she helped, I think, build the base for where we are today. All right, but some of your shows were antiques, right?
So
Antique market?
Prior to my last position, I ran U.S. antique shows, which included the world's largest indoor antique show. And it was kind of funny, I had before that been at Surf Expo, which is a board sports show, wind, kite, surf, skate show. I left there as the oldest person on the show staff, and I went to the antique shows, and all of a sudden I was the youngest person there. So it was a great experience for me.
Okay. Well, see, in our industry, you'll fit in. You're just you're
right in the right.
We've got a lot older, and we got a lot of younger people, which is exciting.
Which is exactly what we want.
IoT and connected lighting. Tell us a little about that forum.
So that forum was actually introduced in 2017, the same year as the pavilion, and you know, I'd say, I guess we're about 10 years into LED being ubiquitous on the show floor. And just as the show had transitioned from components to finished products, so we saw a shift from finished products into the application of lighting. And so certainly IoT and connected lighting is a part of that emerging trend. This is a great seminar series for us. About 600 attendees have signed up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and actually the IoT and connected lighting pavilion, it's 12,000 net square feet. That's our largest pavilion now on the show floor. So very important emerging market for us.
Light and health?
Light and health, it's the same trend, application in lighting. And that session is another full day, 6 sessions. I'd say about, I think it was nearly 1,000 people have signed up for that. Last year we had 34 exhibitors who listed that on their product mix. This year we have 57.
Wow,
so
congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's a growing segment for our exhibitors, so obviously it's a growing segment for us as well.
And the reason I think IoT and light and health are growing, manufacturers make more margins. It gets them out of this commodity market that we're all trying to get out of because we seem to have lost a lot of that to the offshore competition. So it is important that LIGHTFAIR helps these companies to exhibit and to display their more profitable and higher margin items, and they fall into that. Okay, Caleb Harper is your keynote.
Had him today. What a very exciting and very scary presentation at the same time. A lot of insights into how our commodity of food is being grown. But it was really exciting to see how lighting plays a part in this collaborative food system. And I'm really proud that LIGHTFAIR brought him here so he can speak directly to lighting manufacturers who really can influence the success of these systems.
And he's an MIT guy.
MIT, and he has a lab.
And I believe his passion is open source.
Is open source. And they actually develop small kits that school children can actually build themselves. Well, the reason for this is the data is then uploaded into the cloud. So there are almost little mini micro labs all around the world that is uploading data.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
well, congratulations on getting,
brilliant.
I think those speakers like at that caliber are really important to LIGHTFAIR. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Alex, and I can't pronounce his last name, Kanjeev. He's a VC guy.
He is a VC guy. He's coming in tomorrow. He wants to talk about how he actually said robotics is getting into all of our industries. Unfortunately, he did not give us any more than that. So we're all going to watch it together.
It'll be interesting because VCs don't like us so much anymore.
Really?
They used to love us 10 years ago when you're talking. Now, not so much. So it'd be interesting to see what his take on that is. Okay. All right, congratulations on LIGHTFAIR 2019. I have been walking the show already, of course, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Last year we had some pockets. There were missing exhibitors, and there were some pockets, some vacancies, if you will. This year I don't see any of that.
Yeah.
So it looks good, and I've heard of at least one big guy that wasn't here last year that has come back this year.
You're talking about Amerlux?
Amerlux.
Sure. They're back. I think we have 13 win-backs in the show. A win-back is a company that has come back after any absence.
Okay.
Okay,
that's great.
I'll tell you what a great stat is, and this, if I didn't read it myself, I might not have believed it. We retain 85 to 90% of our exhibitors year over year, and coming from the trade show industry, that's unprecedented. It's absolutely amazing, and it speaks to LIGHTFAIR's reputation and to the industry, how it supports this show as the event.
Well, Edison Report believes in a strong LIGHTFAIR.
Yeah.
We think we need one show that is dominant and very strong, and this is the show. In years past, we would even publish the names of some people that didn't exhibit, but they would take a suite, because we don't like that, because they are pulling people away from the show. What's your thought on those types of companies?
Well, it's no coincidence they're here in Philadelphia this week, the same week as LIGHTFAIR. It's because LIGHTFAIR is bringing the attendees that they want to sell to, they want to market to. I would say to them, rather than doing an offsite event, trying to compel attendees to come for 2 to 3 hours, let's talk about the greater ROI of being on the show floor with your colleagues, where you can market to all of the attendees over 3 days.
Right. We think that's a much better approach, and the companies that are here, in a way, are subsidizing those other companies because we're the ones paying for it. So I know that you monitor hotels and that sort of thing, and I think as an attendee or an exhibitor, we do appreciate that. But when you look at the cost of LIGHTFAIR, I think the rent that you charge, I think that's very reasonable. But it's all the other expenses, the drayage, the storage, the union labor, and then it's Saturday and it's Sunday and it's time and a half and it's double time. I can kind of see why some companies don't participate because of that huge cost. What do you say to those guys?
Well, the costs you're talking about are driven by rising living wages. So rising living wages is good. It is amazing when you think about what we accomplish on the show floor. Really, in a matter of days, we construct a small city. Our show, LIGHTFAIR, brings in nearly 3 million pounds of freight, which that's the equivalent of 1,700 full semi-trucks. It's an extraordinary feat. And then we tear it down after only 2 days. So it's no small task to create a show like LIGHTFAIR. But back to how we can save money. Trade shows are really all about efficiencies. Efficiencies in shipping, efficiencies in packing, and especially efficiencies in labor. And so after this show, any LIGHTFAIR show, an exhibitor can send us their post-show statement, and we'll go through it with them, and we'll take a look at where we can recommend any changes so they can make some efficiencies, some smarter decisions. In our case, would be next year.
I don't think people know that.
Well, now they do.
Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, any talk of doing LIGHTFAIR every other year?
Absolutely none.
Okay.
The vast majority of our exhibitors need an annual marketplace. In fact, we have contracted dates, annual contracted dates through 2028 with Philadelphia and Las Vegas.
Okay, so that's it?
That is it.
Those two?
That's it, through 2028.
Okay, excellent. That's good that people can plan on that.
Yeah.
And know, and there's ups and downs. We sure like the hotel situation in Las Vegas because we can all get good hotels. In Philadelphia, I really like the fact that the restaurants and a lot of the hotels, and they're very close.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we're in New York, you'd never see anybody at night because New York is just so big. But here, everybody is concentrated.
So we have space selection for next year. Will be Wednesday and Thursday, and we will have a hotel desk. Speaking of hotels, we'll have a hotel desk in there for Las Vegas.
Okay.
So exhibitors can.
So just to give you an example, we're at the Ritz. Why? Because last year you had the same deal set up. So we booked our hotel right when we booked LIGHTFAIR, and we got a great rate.
Yeah, great.
So thank you very much. Okay, anything else you want to add or tell our audience?
Very excited about next year. We're looking to make some enhancements to the show. We're going to have a increased emphasis on exhibitor ROI. We have a new Director of Attendee Relations whose emphasis will be bringing in new emerging attendee categories.
Is that Nick?
No, that's Leah.
Leah, okay. I haven't met Leah yet.
She has joined our staff, and she'll be looking at attendee communities for us. And we're also almost reimagining LIGHTFAIR and what it can be. We sent out a digital prospectus last week to all of our exhibitors, and we'll continue to tease what this will be, unveil a little bit more as we get closer to the show.
Okay. Well, anything we can do at Edison Report to help, we'd like to.
I appreciate that
All
very
right.
much.
Welcome to the industry,
All
Dan.
right, thank you, Randy, very much.